As you listen to the reading from Psalm 139, notice if there is a word or phrase that stands out to you. Where is God drawing your attention?
O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for the darkness is as light to you.
Rise.
Known.
Far away.
Darkness.
Even
there. As you hear the psalm again, reflect receptively. Where is God guiding your attention now? Notice what thoughts and feelings arise in you.
O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all of my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue. Behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. Where shall I go from your spirit? Where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me. Your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and your right hand shall hold me. Even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you. Where shall I go from your spirit?
if I make my bed in Sheol,
Even there in the place I do not want to be, God leads me, God holds me.
Rise up from wherever you are comfortable. You know my thoughts from far away.
That God knows more about me than I do. That God is more attuned to the deepest parts of myself than even I am.
That the God who discerns my thoughts from such a faraway place is the same God from whose intimacy and presence and love I could never escape.
As you hear this text again, be open to what God might be saying to you, how God might be calling you to act.
O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my laying down, and are acquainted with all of my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as day, for darkness is as light to you.
I have 3 young children, a 4-year-old daughter and 7-month-old twins, a boy and girl. And I rise up now hundreds of times a day, from my bed before dawn, from the chair where I was trying to eat my lunch for just a couple of minutes, from the floor where I simultaneously feed the twins their bottles, and from the rug where I play with my 4-year-old, who has endless energy and imagination. I remember when I used to be able to do burpees for an hour, but now rising up sounds like my grandpa with tons of creaks and moans and groans and grunts. But the floor is where my children are dwelling, and so I get down with them, and then I rise up every time. Between you and me, I think it's time right now that we as a church rise up. We need to take our Tylenol or our aspirin or whatever it is we need. We've got to get up and get moving. Rise up from where we are comfortable. Rise up from the status quo. Rise up from the privilege we inherited and get to work. Jesus was always rising up and raising up others. So let's grunt and groan if we have to at first, but let's commit today to rise up in our confidence, our voice, and our love for our neighbors. God knows when we sit down and when we rise up, and if we ask, the powerful right hand of God will hold us fast and help us get where we're going.
I am struck by the ironies of worshiping a God who is simultaneously both far away and intimately close, of worshiping a God who gives me complete freedom and yet knows the words on my tongue even before I do, of worshiping a God for whom darkness is as bright as day. These ironies give me hope that we can find intimacy with each other even when we are in places far away from each other because of a pandemic. Hope that my words can bring comfort and challenge to others in ways that I will never understand. And hope that God's love can shine brightly even in the midst of darkness that so many are experiencing.
The first time I read this passage, I felt a little desperate. If God knows me so deeply and God's far away, where exactly is this God that cares so much? Like, where can I find you if you can find me so easily? Can I pull out a map and locate the coordinates? Because right about now, I sure would like to know the direct route to God's presence. The second time I read through the passage, my hand instinctively raised up like I was holding a handheld mirror. I read the words, "You know my thoughts, yet you are far away. You know me, yet you're far away. My face, your face, the direct route to God's presence." If I look at myself intimately, deeply, if I hold the mirror up and behold the presence of God, then maybe the darkness will turn to light and the far away will become close. I encourage you to greet the presence of God in the mirror when you greet yourself.
Okay, God, you have my attention. You aren't going to let me run. And it would be nice if you would understand that I am really good at sulking. And I'd like to do that for a while. But since you're not going to let me, you're going to keep chasing me, then let me just say this. I think I get it. I think I understand that it wasn't really me in the first place that was so battered and bruised, but it was my ego, which isn't the real me. And if I can lean into that, then I'll understand and I won't be so annoyed when I get to verse 13 that tells me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, because I maybe will believe it then. Thanks be to God.
At the age of 22, I came out to a person who at the time knew me better than anyone. They told me that I was the reason why Baptist women would never be able to have a pulpit in America. As you can expect, that left a wound in my soul that took a long time to heal. Ever since then, vulnerability has been one of the hardest things for me to put in my life. I preach it, I endorse it, I shout it from the rooftops that true community is a community where we are known and accepted by the people around us. But as a minister, I find myself putting distance between me and my folk. Because being in the midst of that hard work and exposing myself reminds me how quickly a loved one can become a loss. This passage reminds me of the gift that we receive when we embrace the true knowing that our God sees us, knows us, accepts us, and loves us for who we are just as we are.
Even there, in the place you do not want to be, in the place where you feel like you took a wrong turn, in the place where you are vulnerable and exposed, in the place where you are in the dark. Even there, God is with you. God is guiding you. God is holding you. When you are depressed, when you are oppressed, when you are angry, when you are sick, when you cannot see 2 inches in front of your face, God is with you, guiding you. God is not afraid of your darkness. God is not afraid of the world's darkness. The darkness is as light to God. And God is here among us even when we can't see her.
You return to the darkness. You return to that certainty and uncertainty where comfort and discomfort clash. You return to that place where you once felt safe and yet you can be found. You return to that place that is known and unknown. My brothers and sisters, siblings and friends, do you find yourself in this place? Have you found yourself in this place? For if you find yourself in this place, in a place that was supposed to be an escape that is yet inescapable, in a place that you believe to be absent of life, may I encourage you that in this place that is absent of light, that God and God's presence is there to illuminate and to make God's self known and evident to you. I encourage you to reach out your hand into the dark, to reach out to a hand that calms and creates, to reach out to a hand that prunes and protects, to reach out to a hand that is all knowing and all present. While your faith may be challenged, lose not your faith. While fear may arise, be not fearful. For in it all, I encourage you to reach out, to take hold of God's unchanging hand. Build your hopes on things eternal, but hold to God's unchanging hand.